Hi, I'm Stephen, and this is an architect sketchbook in Georgia. If you clicked on this video thinking that I'm going to be talking about the state of Georgia in the US, I am so sorry because today I'm going to be talking about the beautiful country of Georgia. For this year's big summer holiday, I finally went to Georgia. And the reason why I say finally is because if you live in the Middle East, specifically if you're a Filipino living in the Middle East, you've heard your friends or peers or office mates talking about how beautiful this country is. And one of them is my mom, who's been there 3 or 4 times already. And now that I've finally done it, I wish that I did it sooner because they were right. Oh my gosh. I completely fell in love with the country. The people are amazing. The architecture is breathtaking. There's just this vibe that, I don't know, it's young, it's hip, it's up and coming, and I feel like Tbilisi is one of the most underrated capitals in the world. And the reason why I want to sketch in this trip is because if you're an architecture student or if you're an architect, I know that you've heard the advice that you should always bring a sketchbook wherever you go. You should always sketch, you should always practice it regardless of wherever you are, whenever. And I don't know, I never did it. And now that I've finally done it, I'm definitely gonna continue doing this. For the past year, my life has been kind of crazy. And I feel like sketching could be a way for me to, low-key escape social media and just put my phone down for like 30 minutes and just breathe in the air and use my hands and just really be present. And honestly, it was amazing. I'm definitely gonna do this whenever I travel from now on. So let's start with the materials. I bought this pack of pens and highlighters and not highlighters, these are alcohol markers, and I used a rubber band to tie them all together because this is how other people do it, and I thought maybe I'm gonna copy it. And yeah, it works. Don't bring a pencil case, that's a waste of space. Just use a rubber band and you're good to go. And this sketchbook that I bought from AliExpress, I'm sure they have this in other online shopping apps. This is a very standard watercolor sketch pad. The reason why I chose watercolor is because I can't find a sketch pad for markers. So this will do for now. And honestly, it's fine. So let's start with the first sketch. I'm gonna be honest. This is horrible. This is the worst ever. As I told you earlier, I never sketch in public. This is my first time doing it. So the first one is rough, to say the least. This is an experiment with black ink and gray and blue-gray markers, which I did not end up using all throughout the trip. I ended up using blue pen and blue markers instead of black and gray. I feel like it's lifeless, and honestly, I wish I redid this sketch because this place is called Entree. It's a cafe in Old Town Tbilisi. I 100% recommend going to this place if you want affordable but good coffee and pastries. So yeah, this was a fail. The first sketch is a fail, but that's okay. We have 24 more. Also, I didn't finish the sketchbook, which means I have space if I ever go back to Georgia, which I will because I had a great time. The next page. This is Jan Chardeni Street my pronunciation sucks. I know. I am so sorry. This is an apology to the entire population of Georgia. I'm gonna butcher your language for the next 20 minutes. I am so sorry. I have to be honest. This place is kind of a tourist trap, but good food. Overall, if you want to have a good time, good music, good food, there's shisha there. And wine. Lots of wine. So, yeah, basically, this was my first urban sketch where I actually stood there in the heat of the summer sun, which isn't that bad. If you live in the Middle East, 26 degrees is delightful. Okay, the next one is this bell tower from the Tbilisi Theological Academy. It's right next to the Jan Sardeni Street. You can see it from afar. It's a bell tower. It's an old bell tower. And I actually sketched this at night. Next is the view from our hotel in Kazbegi. Okay, so after Tbilisi, we went to Kazbegi. There's this beautiful river overlooking the Caucasus Mountains from afar. And it's so beautiful. You can see the snow on top of the mountains. So while I was sketching this, there was this warm light from the sun and this cold breeze from the mountains, and then there's this river with sheds by it. I thought, okay, this is a good place to sketch. If you want to go to Kazbegi, check Hotel Stancia. Good food, good service. The next is the Friendship Monument in Georgia, also known as the Russia-Georgia Friendship Monument, or the Treaty of Georgievsk Monument, is a large circular structure built in 1983 to commemorate the bicentennial of the Treaty of Georgievsk and the historical ties between Georgia and Russia. This is a touristy spot, but it's cool. The building basically is on a cliff in Godauri where there's a lot of tourists, but it's a beautiful building that almost like hugs the tourists. I think that's a creative sculptural gesture of friendship to actually make the building feel like it's hugging you. And I think the artist really ate with this one. It's super nice. And right next to it is the detail from the monument. The reason why I sketched this is because of the architecture on either sides of the main focal point. So on the left side is the silhouette of Georgian Orthodox churches, and then on the right is the silhouette of Russian Orthodox churches. It's a good way to emphasize religion and how it took part in the Treaty of Georgievsk. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Okay, up next is the view from our window in Kutaisi. This hotel is Old Town Hotel. Again, nicest people. And also great views of the city. So I thought, okay, this is something that I can sketch indoors because Kutaisi is much colder than the other parts. Regardless of the summertime, Kutaisi is still pretty chilly. So I sketched indoors, but I don't know, maybe it's me. It's the Filipino in me. I get cold easy, okay? And I would like to add that Kutaisi is the best town we visited. If I'm going back to Georgia, I'm gonna stay in Kutaisi longer. The next one is this street view from the Alexander Pushkin Street, still in Kutaisi, featuring our car. Okay, so this is the car that we use to travel around Georgia. I guess this is a good place to introduce you to the crew. I went to Georgia with Jasper, Gio, and Solomon. We traveled for 10 days from Tbilisi to Godauri straight to Kazbegi, and then back to Tbilisi, and then Kutaisi, and then Batumi, and then I went back to Tbilisi to stay there for 10 days all by myself. So yeah, these are the people that I traveled with. Amazing people. They made the journey so much fun. I honestly I couldn't imagine myself doing this alone. Okay, next one is the Mon Plaisir Archway along Tsminda Nino Street. Okay, when you enter this archway, there's like this huge space for small businesses where, I don't know, the cool kids hang out, I feel. And then on the opposite side is a section sketch of the arch. My sketch was a bit skewed, but honestly, it's fine. You know, I did not use any kind of ruler the entire trip. With a Faber-Castell pen, this is the best that I can do. Okay, next one is our hotel. Hotel Old Town in Kutaisi. Because on top of having good views from our windows, it also had an amazing exterior. Okay, the next one is the National Gallery of Georgia. This is already in Tbilisi. I kind of stopped sketching halfway. I guess I didn't have any sketch from Batumi. Batumi is a very party place. It's by the beach. So I focused on that instead of sketching. This was already part of my solo travel in Tbilisi. The first thing I sketched when I got back is the facade of the National Gallery. You might think that the half part not being done is a stylistic choice, but in reality I got bored and it was so hot that day, so I just left. Here's the thing, when you're sketching outside and you're in a hurry because it's hot, you really get to appreciate the detail that they put into the design. This one had a lot, so I had to stop with 50% and just go back to the hotel to enjoy my AC. Okay, the next one is... Oh, okay. This is the Georgi Leonidze Park. Okay, so this park, I went here like almost every day because it's such an amazing park and the planning for this park is so amazing. So basically there's this big avenue in the middle, and then on the sides are these meandering corridors that leads you to these tiny pockets with chairs. And I feel like this kind of meandering plan really gives the space a welcoming vibe. If this park was planned in a symmetrical way, I don't think people would use it that much. I think that's something that I also observe in my designs. I try to curve things that are meant to be used every day, because if everything is in 90 degrees, everything is perfect, people tend to step away because we don't want to mess it up. But if we plan it in a way that it's already messed up, then people will tend to use it. The next is the view from my hotel in Tbilisi. Okay, this is Georgi Akhvelediani Street, next to Budget Ibis. That's where I stayed. The reason why I sketched this is because it's just pretty to look at. I love it when buildings collide at a point in an intersection. The sketch right next to it. This is a beautiful Art Deco building that you can find in the intersection of Shota Rustaveli Avenue and Abashidze Street. I don't know what's in here. I don't know what the name of the building is, but whenever I go to the city center, I always pass by this building, and every time I take a picture because I see it in a different light. The light from the sun cascades differently that day or that time of the day, so I take pictures again and again and again. The most interesting part of this building are the balconies that's reminiscent of these Art Deco shell motif. Just, it's so pretty. I wish I had a selfie with this building, but I was traveling alone and I'm not gonna ask strangers to take pictures of me in front of a random building. Also, behind this building is an amazing cafe called Crab Specialty Coffee. If you want good coffee, and like kind baristas, go there. I recommend that coffee place. It's great. The next one is the Holy Trinity Cathedral. This is the biggest Georgian Orthodox cathedral in the world, and the architect is Archil Mindiashvili. Is it a coincidence that the architect's name is Archil? Or is he just lucky? Maybe that's his destiny. And it shows. This is the most beautiful building in Tbilisi. The scale, the proportion, the way that light hits it in every single direction. The interior is amazing. I would recommend going to this place even if you're not Orthodox. Don't you just love it when places of worship looks like places of worship? I know that sounds redundant, but you know, the drawing right next to it is the sulfur baths. I was looking forward to visiting this, but I guess this is one of those things that looked better online, especially on Pinterest. I feel like the people on Pinterest kind of romanticized this place so much, because this was in every bucket list that I found, and honestly, the entire city has so much more to offer than the sulfur baths. But again, still a good place to take an Instagram picture. Beautiful. And on the other side of that page is another view of the sulfur baths. Pretty. It's just over romanticized on Pinterest. Maybe it's my fault. My expectations were so high. And then when I got there was, oh, that's it. Okay. But yeah, it's still worth the visit. But like, don't stay there, because again, the entire city is beautiful. Explore somewhere else. Okay, the next one is this random magazine that I found at the Museum of Modern Art, or MoMA, in Tbilisi. I tried my best to look for it online. I tried ChatGPT, Pinterest, Google. I don't know what the name of this magazine is, but the reason why I sketched this is because I want to recreate this. This photo of an old man standing in front of an artwork. Yeah, okay, next one. This one is a small building behind the monastery of Saint Nino at Bode, Signagi, Georgia. I am so sorry. I don't know how to pronounce this. It's still under construction, but I sketched it because it was so pretty. The colors, the proportion, everything was perfect. Look at it. I'm sure I have a picture with this one because it's just amazing. Okay, right next to it is the sketch of the Chronicles of Georgia. This is probably the most famous tourist attraction in Georgia. It was created by the sculptor Zurab Tsereteli in 1985, but was never fully finished. The monument sits on top of a large set of stairs overlooking the northern part of the city from different directions. And the exterior is completely made out of bronze. Again, the scale, the proportion, the color of this. I love seeing modern architecture, in this specific example, brutalism mixed with Byzantine and post-Soviet architecture. The artist has a clear vision and he delivered, even though it's technically not finished yet. Next, this is the last spread of the sketchbook. Basically, these are the things that I want. These are the things that I want to copy in my work. So first one is this PF stackable armchair that I found, and then right next to it is the Signotech wall sconce. Again, I couldn't find the exact model, but I thought it looked beautiful, so I sketched it. These pictures are from a cafe designed by Eka Papa Mikael, and yeah, I asked the attendant in the cafe who designed it, and they told me this name, and now I'm a fan. Her works are amazing. I follow her on Instagram now. And on the right side is the sketch of the stairway at MoMA. Can you see the detail? The curved detail, the last step. Yeah, I'm gonna have a project where I copy that detail. because it's so pretty. Lastly, of course, I cannot end my Georgia trip without sketching an icon painting. This specific one is from the Art Museum of Georgia, and the reason why I sketched it is because of the shape of the frame. I'm definitely gonna paint something with the same shape. It looks like a house, an arrow, or whatever. I'm not sure if it has a religious or cultural significance, but I am going to copy this style of framing. So that is it. That's my very first country specific sketchbook. I hope you liked it. I'm gonna post these sketches on my Substack if you want to look at them. Also on my Instagram, you can follow me at Stephen Amoyo, and like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and that's it. I have more pages left, so until my next trip to Georgia, I guess.